You're watching the Valley on ESPN. We have a midday matchup from historic Terre Haute, Indiana, between the Indiana State Sycamores and the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome inside the Holman Center. I'm Michael Winstead, and alongside me is my fellow student broadcast partner, Bailey Chamberlain. And Bailey, Indiana State comes into this matchup with a 2-1 record on the season, winner of its last 2 games in a row. And Western Kentucky, on the other hand, winners of 3 out of 4, but one of those victories was against number 13, West Virginia.
Yeah, this will be the first big test for the Sycamores as Western Kentucky comes in after just placing second in that Myrtle Beach Invitational. And as you mentioned, they did knock off top 25 ranked West Virginia in the championship game. They did fall to UCF, but look for the Sycamores to get their shooters going and to get a lot of good shots up today.
Yeah, now speaking of getting their shooters going, both of these teams come into this matchup shooting about 42% from the field, but 2 shooters shooting well above that mark, Jordan Barnes for Indiana State and Charles Bassey for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, for Western Kentucky, they have that 6'11 freshman in Charles Bassey, averaging 14 points and 10 rebounds while also getting 2 blocks. On the other side of the basketball court, you do have Jordan Barnes, no stranger to scoring that basketball. Already this season, averaging 21 points a game, shooting 56% from beyond the arc. And last season, Barnes ranked number 4 in the nation and almost 4 3-pointers made per game.
Now we'll toss over to the third member of our broadcast team, Beth Motter. Beth?
Thanks, Michael. And these 2 teams aren't completely unfamiliar with one another. This is the 9th all-time meeting and the 4th time that the Hilltoppers have traveled to Terre Haute. The Sycamores have dropped each of the last 3 in the series, dating back to a 64-63 victory at Diddle Arena on this exact day 9 years ago. The last time ISU beat the Hilltoppers at home, this building didn't even exist, and that was back in 1941. Guys?
Thanks for that little slice of history there, Beth. And Bailey, as we mentioned before we went on air, this is really the first test for the big men of Indiana State. They faced Ball State, Green Bay, and McKendree, a Division II school, but Amandre Rickman and Devin Thomas haven't really faced the likes of a guy like Charles Bassey down low.
Yeah, Western Kentucky Hilltoppers are coming into this game going to be outside of the Sycamores this afternoon.
Indiana State starts the ball with the opening tip. Here are the Toyota starting lineups for Indiana State. And we already mentioned Jordan Barnes, but another guy that's really been the catalyst for this Indiana State team is the guy with the ball right now. It's number 11, Tyreek Key.
Averaging 20 points a game. This early in the season, him and Barnes are carrying this offense.
Rickman in the paint, puts it up, no good. Rebound by Bassey. And now here are the starting lineups for Western Kentucky. And another guy is number 11, Tavion Hollingsworth, who actually leads the team in shooting. Hollingsworth with the ball now. Passes it out and gets the scoring started for Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky, with that made 3, makes a 3-point basket in 982 consecutive games.
Talk about being efficient.
Savage going down, looks for somebody up. Hollingsworth gets the ball. Murray looking to make something happen. Murray, the 5th-year transfer from Auburn, puts it up, no good. Tyreek Key looking to make something happen inside.
Just look at the size difference with Jordan Barnes. And Anderson of Western Kentucky.
Devin Thomas comes away with the first foul of the game. And yeah, you mentioned the size. Indiana State just looks like a much smaller team compared to this Western Kentucky team.
One thing I noticed coming into this game, Charles Bassey all season has worn that brace on that right knee. No brace on him this afternoon.
See if that maybe affects his mobility a little bit, as that is Anderson with the inside move. Puts the Hilltoppers up by 5 here early. Jordan Barnes from the top gets it to go for Indiana State.
Just like we said in the open, Sycamores need to get those good shots up and hope they fall. because Western Kentucky, with their size, it'll be easy for them to out-rebound the Sycamores. Don't give them chances to get the rebound. Put the shot in.
Murray puts up his second three, no good. Alante Holston passes it to Amandre Rickman at the top. Indiana State just looking to make something happen inside.
It's that big man presence of the Hilltoppers.
Holston will be called for the foul. Josh Anderson bringing it up the court for Western Kentucky. Anderson, the sophomore guard, hands it to Savage, and Savage puts it up. Hollingsworth with his first field goal attempt of the game.
Two offensive rebounds in a row.
Excellent fake there by Charles Bassey. Deshaun Murray puts it up, but Amandre Rickman will be called for the goaltending. Clayton Hughes now comes in for Indiana State. Let's take a look at today's Pepsi keys to the game.
For Western Kentucky, they want to play big. Bassey looks to assert his dominance in the paint with those rebounds and those block shots on the defensive end. And for also, they need to get Jared Savage going. Savage, the transfer from Austin Peay, sat out all last season due to the NCAA transfer rules. He's really finding his rhythm early with the Hilltoppers. And for Indiana State, ball security. Western Kentucky is 18th in the nation in total steals up to this point in the season. ISU does not want to give the Hilltoppers any opportunities in transition, especially with the way they have been shooting. And lastly, ISU just wants to get good shots up with the defensive powerhouse Bassey protecting the paint. Look for the Sycamores to get some high percentage jump shots right on cue.
Clayton Hughes with the last second buzzer three there. 2 to shoot, and Hughes drains it from 3. Brings Indiana State within 2. That'll be a turnover for Anderson and the Hilltoppers. As we go to break, Western Kentucky with the early 2-point lead here in the first half.
Blue is 100+ majors, from education to aviation. An honors program that takes you around the world and leads to innovative research and Fulbright scholars. Blue is top 5 in the nation for community service, 5 years in a row. Blue is students from all 50 states and 70 countries. Blue is 150 years, 100,000 alumni, one strong Sycamore community. Blue is Indiana State University. There's more to Blue.
You will always score your best deal at the Sullivan Automotive Group on US 41 North in Sullivan. We sell and service new Chevrolets, Buicks, and GMCs, Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Ram trucks. And Sullivan Automotive Group has the best pre-owned selection in the Wabash Valley, with vehicles starting at just $99 per month. You always score more savings for your hard-earned dollar at the Sullivan Automotive Group, featuring the most manufacturers under one roof. See us today on US 41 North or at shopsullivanauto.com.
Welcome back to the Holman Center. Western Kentucky with the 2-point advantage here early on in the first half. You see there Rick Stansberry in his 3rd season at the helm for Western Kentucky. Stansberry led the Hilltoppers to a 27-11 season last season. That marked the first 27-win season for Western Kentucky since the 2007-2008 season. Going back even farther now, that was Stansberry's first 27-win season, and that is tied for the most since in a single season since he was at Mississippi State in 2001-2002.
Yeah, Coach Stansberry, no stranger to sending players to the NBA. Since '96, Stansberry has helped guide 9 players to the NBA, including Eric Dampier and Rodney Hood, to name a few.
Stansbury with the current 45-30 record, and another player probably headed to the NBA pretty soon is that freshman number 23, Charles Bassey.
Oh, yeah.
Bassey already with 1 rebound here tonight. Holston drives in, puts it up.
Got him off his feet.
Blocked out by Charles Bassey. Huge block there. And
there's that inside presence of Bassey.
Josh Anderson takes a nasty spill out there. Looks like he's all right, though, and patted the fan on the back, making sure he's okay. Great sportsmanship there. Indiana State, 5 to shoot. Tyreek Key goes up. Knocked out by Savage.
Couldn't get the layup to go in. Got a good look.
Anderson down low, and turnover for the Hilltoppers. Key brings it up court. Jordan Barnes has really got to get something going from the outside here. The Indiana State has had no luck inside, and just like that, Holston with the turnover.
There's those steals we were talking about from Western Kentucky. Want to minimize those errors if you're the Sycamores.
Western Kentucky now setting up their offense as Murray looks to pass it into Bassey, and Bassey brings home the jam. Puts the Hilltoppers up by 4. Tyreek Key off the screen. Clayton Hughes drives it in, and Hughes unable to finish. But nice rebound by Tyreek Key. Hughes this time with the jumper. Gets it to go.
Little hesitation from Hughes. Wasn't expecting to be that wide open for the shot. Put it in.
And here early on, Western Kentucky, one of your keys to the game for Western Kentucky, or for Indiana State rather, was to get started early, scoring early, and Indiana State has done a not great job driving the ball, but they've had pretty solid luck shooting from the outside.
Yeah, with the inside presence of Western Kentucky, you got to kick it out, and your shooters need to be ready to shoot.
Another thing to look for this Western Kentucky team is they really switch the teams as Tyreek Key goes up for 2 and Bassey will get the foul. But they really switch defenses in mid-possession like that. You'll see them man-to-man, and other times you'll see them in 2-3 zone.
Yeah. I actually like what the Sycamores are doing. They're actually getting inside, going to the foul line here.
Number 11, Tyreek Key, the sophomore guard, at the line for 2. Gets the first one to go. Tyreek Key coming into this game, averaging just over 20 points and almost 6 rebounds at 5.7 per game.
Also shooting 50% from beyond the arc.
Tyreek Key gets the second to go. This one's all tied up at 9. Western Kentucky this time with some little hurry up. Now taking time to set up their offense.
Coach Lansing telling his players to talk on defense. Be ready. Hands up.
Jared Savage for 3.
Really good challenge by Barnes.
Nice rebound by the Hilltoppers there. They get a new shot clock. Savage drives it in, and Savage off the glass, no good. Savage again gets the rebound, but this time knocked away by Indiana State. Jordan Barnes drives it in and gets the floater to go. Puts the Sycamores on top.
It's a 5'11" guard in the paint right there. Ran into the referee. A little shaken up around the neck.
Yeah, that's Merrick Nelson shaken up there. Going back to this last play by Jordan Barnes, the 5'10" guard, just with the floater over the freshman guard.
Get inside and get those shots up.
Banton looking to pass this one in. He will underneath to Nelson, and Nelson
Nice
batted
block
away by
Rickman.
Rickman. Indiana State's big men have played pretty well so far this first half.
Yeah.
Tyreek Key drives inside, but nothing there. Pass it out to Hughes. Hughes out to an open Barnes, and Barnes gets the tray ball to fall.
Man, these Sycamores are pumped up early here.
We mentioned Western Kentucky's three-point streak as Savage hits another one for the Hilltoppers, but that makes three-point number 317 in a row for Indiana State. Tyreek Key throws out to Barnes. This time Key gets the ball back with the three of his own. Back-to-back possessions with a three-point basket for Indiana State. Indiana State, perfect 3 for 3 from beyond the arc tonight.
That's what happens when you have shooters like Barnes. Drew the defender off his feet, kicked it out to Tyreek Key at the top.
And Savage gets his second 3 in a row. Hilltoppers 3 for 6 from beyond the arc so far.
Coach Lansing really coaching his players up right now from the sideline.
Washington putting that one up, but not able to make
Nice
it go.
effort by Rickman.
Rickman puts it back, but unable to connect on that jam.
He really wanted that one.
And that's De'Avion Washington getting called for the foul. Indiana State now up by 2, 17-15 here halfway through the first half. Welcome back to the Holman Center. Indiana State with a 17-15 advantage here about halfway through the first half. Head coach Greg Lansing for Indiana State in his 9th season for the head coach of the Sycamores. He is at 135 and 127 during his time as head coach for Indiana State. With the Sycamores win on November 14th, Lansing has now passed his mentor Royce Waltman for number 2 on Indiana State's all-time coaching win chart for men's basketball.
Yeah, and under Coach Greg Lansing, the Sycamores have earned a school record 5 victories over nationally ranked teams. He really knows how to coach his teams up in these big games.
Coach Lansing doing a good job coaching his team in the first part of this one. We heard Coach Lansing over the majority of the fans here.
That's how you got to be. Keep your players involved early.
Western Kentucky looks to inbound this one, and it's Nelson getting that one. Now it's Danton trying to make some offense happen for Western Kentucky. Omer dribbles it in, but you see the fans calling for a travel on this one, but not called by the officials.
They wanted it again.
Hughes with the hard foul on Banton here. And you hear the boo birds coming out of this Indiana State crowd now as they were looking for back-to-back traveling calls on the Hilltoppers. Coach Lansing now over there talking with the official, wondering just why that one wasn't called. Now Delano Banton at the line, shooting 2. Can't get the first one to go. Banton, the freshman guard. Hughes gets the rebound. Can't get either one of those to go. Western Kentucky, usually a good team from the free throw line.
Yeah, it's really rare they miss both opportunities.
Barnes from way back. Unable to go, but huge rebound by Rickman.
Nice
Rickman puts it up
rebound
for 2.
Rickman. You really want him to get going early here. From a confidence standpoint, too. You get a player going out there playing hard from the get-go, he's just going to be confident the entire game.
Yeah, not only does that get his confidence going, but it really could get the confidence of his whole team going, too, couldn't it? And this time the fans will get the travel call, as that's Tolu Smith getting called for that one. Take a look at this big rebound by Amandre Rickman. Rickman just going up strong.
Probably could have got the foul call as well.
Devin Thomas checks back in for Indiana State.
There's the trap at the top.
Jordan Barnes heavily guarded up top, but looks like Jake Omer. Yeah, Jake Omer will get his first foul on the afternoon. Josh Anderson checks back in for Western Kentucky. Indiana State, 15 to shoot. Passes in there down low to Rickman, and Rickman unable to get that one to go. Heavily defended by Western Kentucky down low.
Good job by Barnes.
Deshaun Murray puts it up, but Murray unable to get that one to fall. Tolu Smith will bat that one out of bounds as ball goes Indiana State's way. Just under 9 minutes to play here in the first half. Indiana State with the 4-point lead, 19-15 here over Western Kentucky. Key passes it back to Barnes. Barnes thought about it, but Rickman again down low, and Rickman will get called for the travel as he went up, and you can't do that.
He's 2 possessions in a row. Got a really good look at the rim, just couldn't finish. Indiana State's doing a really good job here of feeding it in between the gaps of the zone defense. Couple possessions now in a row. They've gotten, like I said, really good looks.
Now, how difficult is that to figure out? Because Western Kentucky does a good job bouncing back between the zone and man-to-man. How difficult for that is for Indiana State to be able to tell which defense they're in right away?
You just have to read the defense. If they're giving you the space, they're probably in the zone, and then they're just going to kick it out to the shooters.
Murray looking to make something happen down low, but not able to, and that one will be batted out of bounds as Western Kentucky will inbounds it with 7 to shoot on the shot clock. Omer passes it into Deshaun Murray. It's back to Omer. Nice defense by Indiana State as Omer just puts it up with 1 on the shot clock, unable to get it to go. Huge steal by Josh Anderson down low. And Devin Thomas with back-to-back blocks, but he'll be called for goaltending on the second one. That is the second goaltending call in the afternoon for Indiana State.
A little bit of excitement.
Huge.
Got the first one, wanted the second one.
Huge first block by Devin Thomas for Indiana State, but yeah, as you mentioned, just got a little bit too excited and batted this one away when it was already on the rim. Josh Anderson with a nice steal there, though, but Devin Thomas not able to come away with that one, and so he'll get called for the goaltending. And it's Washington with the 3 of his own.
Washington was calling for that ball as soon as he realized he had the space. He knocked the shot down.
Indiana State now 4 of 5 from beyond the arc to start this game. Deshaun Murray passes it into Bassey, and Bassey gets it back to Murray, and Murray loses it for a second, but he'll able to get that one to go. A lot of back and forth action here, really. Tough basketball between both of these teams here in this first half. Indiana State 10 to shoot. Tyreek Key passes it back to Washington. And
Coach Lansing really wanted him to take that shot.
2 to shoot. Key puts it up. Unable to go. Rebound by Savage. Bassey drawing the double team, and Hollingsworth puts it up for 2. Hollingsworth getting his first points of the afternoon. Shrink the Indiana State to lead to 1. Anderson coming away with another steal almost, but Tyreek Key able to get back to that one. 10 to shoot. Tyreek Key with the ball at the top. Key passes it to Washington, and Washington just puts it up. Unable to go on the three. Indiana State comes away with the offensive rebound, though. Indiana State now gets a chance to reset their offense. Washington will pass it into Kessinger, and Kessinger
Nice move on Bassey down low.
gets the underneath under Bassey to go. Kessinger gets his first 2 points of the game. Western Kentucky's defense they're playing really solid, but Indiana State's offense is just playing just a little bit better here
Just
in this
like we
first half.
said, if these shots that they're getting up, if they can fall, it'll be big for them. Getting shots late in the shot clock, but not necessarily a bad thing if you wait for the zone to kind of deplenish and get your good look.
Devin Thomas puts it up, unable to go. Rebound by Anderson. Josh Anderson of Western Kentucky will be called for the foul as Indiana State with a 3-point lead, 24-21 over Western Kentucky. Welcome back inside the Holman Center. Indiana State with the 3-point lead here late in the first half, and Indiana State is really led by this dynamic duo right here.
Yeah, Barnes leads the league, the whole Missouri Valley Conference, with 21 a game, and Tyreek Key right behind him, 20.3.
So far tonight, Tyreek Key has 5 points for Indiana State. Junior Jordan Barnes, 7 points for the Sycamores. Barnes, 1 of 2 from beyond the arc, and Tyreek Key is 1 of 1.
The efficient shooting from the Sycamores is the reason why they're up 3 right now. 4 of 6, 66% from beyond that 3-point line.
Now, if you're head coach Greg Lansing for Indiana State, during that last timeout, what are you telling your players to keep them having this fire that they have right now?
Keep playing the same way they're doing. What they're doing is obviously right with a few minor tweaks here and there, but they're up 3 right now against a pretty good ball team.
Now, on the flip side of that, if you're head coach Rick Stansbury, your team is down 3 to an Indiana State team. What did you tell your team to get that fire back in them?
Just rebound the basketball on the missed shots and then put it out in transition. Then you want to see a little bit of better defense in the paint with Western Kentucky. With that size advantage, they should be dominating in that colored area.
And that's DeAvion Washington getting called for the travel. Western Kentucky can tie it up on this next possession. Deshaun Murray will inbounds it to Josh Anderson. And ball goes into Bassey down low, and Washington will come away with the steal for Indiana State, and Washington gets swatted from behind from Josh Anderson. Great defense by Western Kentucky right there.
Good hustle by Anderson to chase down the ball handler and get the block at the rim. Washington had no idea he was behind him. He thought he had a good look.
Indiana State still with the 3-point advantage here in the first half. (24-21) is your score inside the Holman Center. Indiana State with the 3-point advantage. And Bailey, we thought coming to this game it would be Charles Bassey having the big night. So far, pretty quiet. Just 2 points, 1 block, and 1 rebound for the freshman.
Granted, there is a lot of basketball left to be played, but you want to get his name out there in this game and look for a little bit more hustle. Get those rebounds. He only has 1 so far in the game.
See, Charles Bassey was the number 18 recruit in the 2018 ESPN Top 100, number 3 ranked center, reclassified for the 2019 class back in June.
Yeah, one fun fact, he's also one of the top 5 youngest players in all of college basketball at 18 years and only 34 days.
That's crazy, 18 years old and putting up the numbers like he does. That kid's got a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, top 15 projected draft pick so far in the season.
Jordan Barnes looks to inbounds this one for Indiana State. Indiana State almost has a full shot clock with 26 seconds. Indiana State, great ball movement this entire first half, really.
Yeah.
And
So what you can do against that zone defense is just pick it, find the openings, cut. Good rebound there by Bassey.
Bassey gets his second board of the night.
Look for Western Kentucky to have a little bit more fire coming out of that timeout.
Bailey, one of your keys to this game was essentially feed Jared Savage down low, as Bassey will get that one to go off the glass. But one of your keys to this game was really get Jared Savage going, and he had back-to-back threes early on in this game, but he's been pretty quiet ever since.
Yeah, he thought he was just going to go on a little tear. You know, he was feeling it, got the looks he needed, and hit him without effort.
.12 to shoot for Indiana State as Tyreek Key drives it in, and Tyreek Key gets the hard foul from Hollingsworth. Key will go to the line to shoot 2. Tyreek Key shooting free throws number 3 and 4 on the night. Coming up next.
Tyreek Key coming off 2 really good back-to-back wins, set new career high in points in both of those games.
Key unable to get the first one to go.
Just under 80% from the line this season is Key.
Tyreek Key, 1 of 2 that time from the free throw line, and lead back up to 2 for Indiana State. Bassey dribbles it off his foot, but able to get that one back. Bassey this time gets it in low, and Bassey again will kiss it off the glass.
There's that size advantage. Devin Thomas did all that he could down low, but Charles Bassey just overpowered him and got where he needed to go.
This one is all tied up at 25 apiece.
Need to get a shot here if you're Indiana State. Get a good look at the basket.
Barnes for 3. Gets it to go. Jordan Barnes hits his second three-pointer of the night.
Get their 56% three-point shooter going.
Savage dribbles it in, puts it up for 2, and Savage unable to connect, but it's Charles Bassey getting the big board, but he'll turn it right over to Tyreek Key. Tyreek Key dribbles it in and gets that one to go off the glass.
Really
Lead
nice
back up to
finish
5 for
transition.
Indiana State. Murray on the fast break, but Rickman will be called for the foul.
It's really unfortunate because Western Kentucky thought they were going to draw the Sycamores, like, just puts the ball up right after the basket, and they got back. There's an unfortunate call. And if you're the Sycamores, don't be mad at that. You got back, unfortunate call, but just get your defense back and get the ball right back.
Western Kentucky looking to get some momentum back after a huge 3 from Indiana State and then a steal from Tyreek Key, and Tyreek Key bats that one away. Almost coming away with another steal. Murray down low, fighting for everything, but Rickman bats it out. Hilltoppers get a fresh 30. This Indiana State crowd looking to do everything they can to get the Sycamores in. As Savage off the mark from that one, but it's Bassey coming away with the long offensive rebound. Bassey from beyond the arc. Bassey for 3.
Bassey has not missed a three-pointer all year, 100%. Just adds another one to it.
Western Kentucky staying right in this one after Indiana State looked to have a little bit of momentum after a three-pointer from Jordan Barnes and a steal from Tyreek Key, but Charles Bassey puts stuff from beyond the arc to bring the Hilltoppers back within 2.
Yeah, Tyreek Key already at his season average of 2 steals a game this early.
Now, Bailey, just over a minute to go in this first half. Indiana State, slim 2-point lead. This one has been back and forth really all game. If you're head coach Greg Lansing, what are you telling your team to go into halftime with this lead?
Just finish the half. Don't let Western Kentucky go on any run. Don't give you guys something to talk about at halftime if they go on a run here. Finish off the half strong. Keep the crowd into it as well. This last minute is going to be used for the Sycamores, and also for Western Kentucky as well.
Yeah, coming back from that last break, we mentioned Bassey only had 2 points. Now Bassey with 9, 4 of 4 from the field. 1 block, credited with 1 rebound on the night. 15 to shoot for Indiana State. If you're the Sycamores, you want to try to get points, make this a 2-possession game, and that's exactly what Tyreek Key does.
Not what we expected out of the Sycamores at all, to get to the paint pretty freely. That was a really easy layup for Tyreek Key. Now Kessinger on Bass.
Deshaun Murray playing some tough offense there. Murray will get that one to fall. No shot clock as we approach 12 seconds to go here in the first half. Indiana State right now with the 2-point lead, 30-32. Jordan Barnes dribbles it in. Barnes will just put it up at the buzzer, and Barnes unable to go. Indiana State will head into halftime with a 2-point lead, but Indiana State's offense has really been the story, and Western Kentucky's defense has shown up, but Indiana State's offense has just been a little bit better so far in this first half.
Yeah, one thing that stands out to me is 71% from 3, already 5 threes already in the first half. See if they can keep it going in a second.
There's perfect.
And we'll now toss it over to Beth Motter with head coach Greg Lansing. Beth?
I don't have enough court. Coach, what were your thoughts on the first half?
I thought we played our tails off. Made some mistakes, gave up some second shots, but really played hard. We handled their changing defenses, and if we don't give up second shots, I like the way we played on the defensive end.
How do you keep the momentum going into the second half?
Do the same thing. Empty your tank. Play as hard as you can for 20 minutes.
Awesome. Thanks. Good luck in the second half. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Beth. Indiana State heads into halftime with a 2-point lead here over Western Kentucky. Indiana State heads into halftime 32-30 over Western Kentucky. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the news and notes from around the Missouri Valley. Valley so far 19-2 in home non-conference games. MVC was 54-7 at home last season during non-conference play. And the Loyola Ramblers 29th in the nation in scoring defense at 59.4 points per game. Last season the Ramblers only gave up 62.3 points.
Yeah, and the Sycamores coming into this game leads the Missouri Valley Conference in 3-point field goal percentage, which you can see it with your 2 top scorers both shooting over 50% from the 3-point line. They're gonna get up the shots. They're gonna put a lot of points on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Jordan Barnes 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, and Tyreek Key 1 of 1. Also Clayton Hughes 1 of 1, and Davion Washington 1 of 2 for Indiana State. Sycamores up 2 here at halftime. (32-30) Indiana State is your score at the half. Western Kentucky coming out of the Conference USA as we go ahead and take a look at their preseason poll. And Western Kentucky received 9 first-place votes, Marshall for 5.
Yeah, and you can see exactly why Western Kentucky right now is voted #1 in the conference, with Charles Bassey and the transfer Jared Savage finally getting some playing time. Just they got scores, they're going to go out and play basketball.
Preseason ranked #4, North Texas currently leads the Conference USA with a 52% field goal percentage. And Indiana State, on the other hand, coming out of the Missouri Valley, no surprise at the top there, Loyola Chicago received the most first-place votes. Indiana State ranked near the middle, just over ahead of Valparaiso, Missouri State, Drake, and Evansville.
Yeah, look for the Sycamores to make some noise this season in the Missouri Valley Conference, try and climb up the ranks.
So far on the season, though, Bradley leads the way with a 5-1 record. Indiana State still holds the 2 lead here in advantage at halftime. Welcome back to the Holman Center. Indiana State 32, Western Kentucky 30. And Bailey, I've mentioned it several times now. In Illinois, or Western Kentucky's defense playing pretty well, but Indiana State's offense just playing a little bit better as we go ahead and take a look at some of the first half stats.
Yeah, getting the shots up, and also the points in the paint. Yeah, you would have thought coming into this game Western Kentucky is going to dominate the paint, which they are. They're up 8, but Indiana State has got quite a few good looks down low so far in the first half.
And what really surprises me is both of these teams shooting right around 45% from the field, but Western Kentucky 40% from beyond the arc, and Indiana State 71.4 from the three-point land. As you see here, Western Kentucky 4 of 10, and Indiana State 5 of 7 from a three-point land. And rebounds right here, we thought Charles Bassey would be coming into this game and be a bigger force down low. He's got 4 rebounds, tied for Jared Savage for team lead. And Indiana State is led by Tyreek Key. Indiana State up by 2 here at half. Second half action just moments away as Indiana State still holds the slim 2-point lead over Western Kentucky. Bailey, if you're Western Kentucky, what did you guys talk about during that halftime to get your team going?
Well, Coach Stansberry probably believes that his team should be up at this point. They're not playing their best basketball. Look for the guys back in that locker room to probably hype them up and tell them start the second half on fire. Start it hot, go on a run, get the lead, and then just try and keep it if they can.
Now, what did you get from that interview that we had with Coach Lansing going into halftime?
Well, one thing that stood out to me, he said he wanted to minimize the second chance opportunities. And Western Kentucky are getting those second chances, and they're still losing. If ISU can minimize those, and then after they get the rebound, push it in transition, get a good shot, it'll set them up.
Looks like there was a little bit trouble getting the clock going as the crowd finally got the clock going for the scorers table over there as Western Kentucky unable to connect on the first basket. Holston drives it in. Now it's Jordan Barnes passing it out to Tyreek Key. Indiana State 7 to shoot. Rickman gets it to Holston. Indiana State called for the offensive foul.
It's unfortunate. Into the shot clock. Holston ended up hitting the shot. You want that back if you're Indiana State. That's one problem if you're going up against a zone defense and you take a lot of time off the clock per possession. You want to hit the shot, make it worth the while.
Now we saw, especially late in that first half, both teams really taking the full amount of a shot clock to get their offense going. We'll see if that trend continues here in the second half. Hollingsworth kicks it out to Savage. Savage puts it up from the free throw line, and Savage ties this one up at 32.
Savage knew where he wanted to go on the court, got to the spot, and hit the shot down. That was really nice.
Bailey, one of your keys coming into this game was get Savage going. Savage, 2 quick three-pointers. Then he was quiet for the rest of the first half. Connects on his first one here for the second half as Devin Thomas airballs that one from beyond the arc.
Savage is streaky. If he gets a few shots to go down, it's going to be a great second half for him.
Western Kentucky can take the lead with this possession right here.
Nice job by Jordan Barnes to stay with them.
Western Kentucky, Deshaun Murray looking to make something happen. 8 to shoot, kicks it up to Savage, and Savage unable to connect on the three-pointer, out of bounds. Indiana State's ball. Indiana State looks to take the lead on this possession right here. Tied up at 32, just at the start of the second half. Holston mishandles that one, but comes up with it. Thomas, this time from straight away, gets rim, rebounded by Holston. Jordan Barnes drives it in, and Barnes makes the miraculous move there.
Nice finish around Bassey at the rim.
Not sure.
Jordan Barnes.
Not sure if that was Barnes' basket or if it was Rickman on the rebound, but
Not giving up on the play if it was Rickman.
Savage unable to connect on that one, and Barnes dribbles it up the court now, and Barnes again goes to the rack, gets his own rebound, gets it out to Key. Tyreek Key from beyond the arc. Tyreek Key gets the 3 to go. Lead back to 5 for Indiana State.
That three-point ball, they're hitting him.
And Bailey, that is what happens when Jordan Barnes takes the ball to the rack and makes the defenders draw in with him. Tyreek Key was left wide open there. And nothing going Western Kentucky's way here in this second half as they're called for the travel. See, Tyreek Key, nice pump fake there, and Key just puts it up for the 3. Indiana State back up by 5.
I just don't think anybody on Western Kentucky thought Jordan Barnes was going to get the ball right back and kick it out to Key as fast as he did, and Key got a good look at the basket.
Barnes with the ball at the top. Barnes again drives in, and Barnes puts it up, but rebounded by Rickman. Rickman nowhere to go, spins, batted out by Bassey. But Barnes gets his own rebound. Devin Thomas from beyond the arc. Thomas hits the 3. Indiana State now up 8 here in the second half.
Those second chance opportunities going in favor of the Sycamores so far in the second half.
Indiana State offensive rebounds at this mark has 2 more than Western Kentucky, 10 to 8. Anderson drives in, and Anderson can't find the bucket. Barnes coming away with the rebound. Devin Thomas again from 3. Thomas just a little bit short.
He has came out in the second half aggressive with that three-point ball.
Tyreek Key gets it, hands it to Barnes.
There's that transition offense. Get the rebound, push it up, unable to finish.
That was batted out by Anderson. Hollingsworth drives it in, but Tyreek Key will be called for the foul. We go to break. Indiana State on an 8-0 run here over Western Kentucky.
Doesn't that cloud right there look like a penguin?
Really? That looks exactly like a busted pipe spewing water everywhere.
Can you just stop being an insurance agent for like 2 seconds?
It's my job to think about these things.
Well, what does that cloud look like?
That looks just like your house. That's being burglarized. They're stealing your TV right there. Oh, and right there, it's a bear destroying your car.
You need a vacation. Soon, very soon.
You know, Chris, some of us don't have it all season.
You will always score your best deal at the Sullivan Automotive Group on US 41 North in Sullivan. We sell and service new Chevrolets, Buicks, and GMCs, Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Ram trucks. And Sullivan Automotive Group has the best pre-owned selection in the Wabash Valley, with vehicles starting at just $99 per month. You always score more savings for your hard-earned dollar at the Sullivan Automotive Group, featuring the most manufacturers under one roof. See us today on US 41 North or at shopsullivanauto.com.
Indiana State headed into that break on an 8-0 run over Western Kentucky, but Western Kentucky can really strike at any moment. So if you're head coach Greg Lansing, you know no lead is safe. You got to keep your guys going.
Yeah, keep up the intensity that's in this building right now. Don't let up on the gas pedal whatsoever. Try and run away with this ball game if you can.
And if you're Western Kentucky, what guys do you have to get going to get back into this game?
You really want to see Jared Savage get the shots up a little bit more and Charles Bassey to try and get inside more.
Hollingsworth will shoot 2. Tavion Hollingsworth, just 2 points on the night. Attempting his first free throws here in this matchup. Hollingsworth can't get the first one to go.
Last season, Hollingsworth tied a program record for most games started in a single season. Also averaged about 34.5 minutes per game.
Hollingsworth gets the second one, 1 of 2 from beyond the arc, or from the free throw line, excuse me. Clayton Hughes passes it to Kessinger, and Kessinger kisses it off the glass for 2 of his own.
See the patience by Hughes waiting to find the opportunity in that zone defense. Indiana State's doing a really good job of that.
Western Kentucky looking to make something happen on the offensive side of the ball.
Western Kentucky really wanted to use that mismatch. They had Bassey guarded by Washington.
Washington called for his second foul of the night.
That's why you want to use that pick and roll situation, because if you pick that guard either has to stay with you or stay with the shooter. And if you get the center guarded by the little small guard, he can do a lot of big things.
Hollingsworth with the long 2 and unable to connect, and it's Washington coming away with the tough rebound there. Clayton Hughes drives it in, and Hughes, hard foul by Anderson. Hughes slow to get up. Actually, looks like they called Clayton Hughes with the charge here. We'll see here on this replay, and Hughes called for the charge. Nice job by Anderson to stay in there tight and draw the charge. Pass goes into Bassey, and Bassey gets his own rebound and puts it back. Bassey with the monster dunk.
Last few possessions, Bassey's been really aggressive down low. I think he wants to start getting his game up, make his presence in this ball game.
Great half-court defense by Western Kentucky, and Hughes will kick it out to Washington, and Washington unable to connect. But it's Kessinger down low with the
offensive rebound.
And Bassey with a huge block. Jordan Barnes will be called for the foul. This Sycamore crowd does not like that one.
They are not a fan of some of these calls these refs have made this afternoon. If you're Indiana State, you got to play through it. Don't get down with the crowd. Keep playing through it. Keep up the intensity.
See here, Bassey puts that one up, unable to go, but gets his own rebound and puts it up for the monster jam. And then Bassey on the other end swats that one away from Kessinger.
Just look how aggressive Bassey is down low, calling for the ball.
Indiana State called for the foul, and it's Bronson Kessinger. His second foul of the night. Indiana State's 6th foul already here in the second half. Anderson inbounds it to Hollingsworth, and Savage from the top. Cannot get the lucky bounce, and Barnes will come away with the rebound. Indiana State with a 42-35 lead here in the second half. Just over 13 minutes left to play. Tyreek Key dribbles it in, but whistle on the play. And you hear this crowd.
They like that one.
Finally getting into this one, as that is the first foul of the second half on the Hilltoppers. Pretty good turnout here for this Indiana State team. It is Thanksgiving break, so the students are not quite back from break yet, but pretty good turnout from the Terre Haute community to support their Sycamores.
Good ticket deals will let people to come out and watch the team play Black Friday.
20 to shoot for Indiana State. Kessinger drives it in, but pass it out to Washington, and 10 to shoot for Indiana State.
Look at the patience from the Sycamores right now, and no hurry.
Barnes from way back, unable to go, and it's Kessinger coming away with the hard-fought rebound.
Not giving up on the play. After a miss, they got the ball right back.
See, Barnes shot that one from the Sycamores logo, and Kessinger giving it all he could on that one. As well as Merrick Nelson for the Hilltoppers.
Full shot clock to do whatever they want on any form of offense here, as you see Barnes.
Indiana State has 10 to shoot, and it'll be Barnes with the pump fake, but he'll drive it in. And Barnes turning that one over, as that pass was intended for D'Avion Washington. It's Indiana State's 10th turnover on the night, as opposed to Western Kentucky's 7.
3 more turnovers, but a 7-point lead. You'd like to see that.
If you're Western Kentucky, this is the possession you have to have. You have to come away with the basket on this one if you're the Hilltoppers. And Nelson will go down low, but it's batted away by Alante Holston. Bailey, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, still a lot of basketball to play, but everything seems to be going the Sycamores' way, at least here early on in the second half.
You want to maximize every possession if you're the Sycamores. If you have a lead, you want to keep the lead. You don't want to give the Hilltoppers any opportunity to come back in this game.
7 to shoot. Hughes pulls up from 3, unable to let that one go.
Basketball is a game of runs.
Bassey passes it to Nelson, and Nelson lit on the basket, but Hollingsworth with the putback too. .15 to shoot for Indiana State. Sycamores still up by 5 here in this second half of action. Rickman and Bassey down low, and Bassey swats that one away.
Bassey doing what he does best, protecting the rim.
Hollingsworth going coast to coast, but unable to connect. And it's Savage putting that one up, but it's Holston coming away with the block. Barnes again drives it in, and Barnes will kick it off the glass. Hollingsworth drives it in. Lucky he didn't travel on that one, as he just able to get the ball away to Nelson. Indiana State will be called for the foul, as they still hold the 6-point lead, or 7-point lead going into this break. Welcome back inside the Holman Center. Indiana State with the 7-point lead, 44-37, as we welcome back the third member of our team, Beth Motter.
Thanks, Michael. And time again so far tonight, we have seen where Jordan Barnes has just made it impossible for Western Kentucky to try and defend him. Standing down on the sidelines, you can hear the frustrations from the players saying they don't know how to get in front of him and they don't know how to stop him. He's already got 12 points so far tonight, and he is really frustrating the Hilltoppers defense. Guys?
Thanks, Beth. Yeah, you mentioned Jordan Barnes, 12 points, one behind team high, Tyreek Key with 13, but Barnes 5 of 11 from the field, 2 of 4 from beyond the arc. But Jordan Barnes leads the way for Indiana State with 6 rebounds.
That's saying a lot for if Western Kentucky is saying they don't know how to contain Jordan Barnes. He's 5'11". He's getting to where he needs to go, and he's finishing at the rim.
A guy that's a foot taller than him is Charles Bassey, 6'11", shooting from the free throw line. This will be at the 1-and-1. Bassey gets the first one to go.
And Bassey, one of 5 freshmen in the nation, averaging a double-double right now.
Bassey, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Bassey leads the way for Western Kentucky with 13. Bassey is 5 of 6 from the field and 5 rebounds. But Bailey, Bassey has 4 blocks.
Oh, yeah. Averages 2. And there's still 10 minutes to go in this game. Rim
Mondre
protection has been great as Mondre Rickman slams it home.
Savage pulls up from the free throw line, but cannot get that one to go. But Banton gets the rebound, but turnover immediately. And Hughes drives hard, and Hughes gets the basket to fall.
And you saw on that previous play, as soon as Charles Bassey checked out of the game, Mondre Rickman had the opportunity to slam it home. When you don't have a 6'11" in the paint, it makes it a little bit easier for him.
Clayton Hughes now at the line for the old-fashioned three-point play. Coming into this game, Hughes, 6.3 points per game tonight, already at 7, looking to make it 8. Hughes unable to connect on the other end of that one. Indiana State with the largest lead of the night at 9. As Savage looks to shrink it here, but Savage will be called for the foul. You take a look at this one again. Mondre Rickman just bringing that one home for Indiana State. A huge dunk. And then on the very next possession, Clayton Hughes gets the layup to go for Indiana State. And everything seems to be going Indiana State's way, at least through the first part of this second half.
Yeah, when you get an and one on transition, it not only gets the crowd hype, but it gets the team hype. The bench was standing up. Everybody in the crowd was loving it.
So the Hilltoppers are come away with a steal, and Hollingsworth connects on that one, and
gets it
Hollingsworth
right
again gets the steal.
Chance for them to set up their offense.
Another basket for the Hilltoppers would be huge right here to slow down this Indiana State team. And that's Smith unable to get that one to go. Rickman coming away with the rebound.
And you see Charles Bassey's not in what coach is probably thinking. He's probably going to use the lineup in the rest of the game. Get a little bit of rest here and try and get one final fight. There's almost 8 minutes to go here in the second half. Make sure he's rested for the end of this ball game. If you're Indiana State, you got to take advantage of the opportunity that he's not on the court right now, inside with the Mondre Rickman.
3 to shoot for Indiana State. Clayton Hughes doesn't recognize it. Finally puts it up. He was unable to connect. Western Kentucky comes down with the rebound. Kicks it out to Savage. Western Kentucky now getting a chance to set up their offense. 15 to shoot for the Hilltoppers. And that's Banton getting the basket for the Hilltoppers. We go to break. Indiana State lead is now 5, 48-43.
For more of your favorite music now, tune in at Z90.7 WZIS or listen live at WZISFM.org.
Western Kentucky able to shrink the Indiana State lead to 5 with a bucket right before we went to that break. And Bailey, Western Kentucky is led by Jared Savage, Tavion Hollingsworth, and Charles Bassey. Savage, 15.8 points per game. Hollingsworth, 17.2, and Bassey, 14.4. All of them shooting above 40% from the field.
Yeah, the efficiency from those players today. You have Hollingsworth with 7, Jared Savage with 8, and Bassey with 13. Jared Savage got those 2 quick threes, got that 1 bucket after halftime, but that's pretty much all he's done tonight.
And what makes these 3 so dangerous is they're just good shooters. Even the center, Charles Bassey, you see there, Bassey 50% from the three-point line and above 50% from inside the three-point line. So this Western Kentucky team, usually a good offensive team.
Yeah, when you have the size that they have, they can get inside and score easy buckets.
As Banton looking to shrink the deficit to 4. And Banton will do just that. Indiana State lead is now 4.
It's a big possession for the Sycamores right out of the timeout. See what Coach Lansing decided he wanted to do for his team.
Barnes can't get the 3 to go. Savage comes away with the rebound. And Savage is a guy this Western Kentucky team needs to get going if they want to come back in this one. As they trail by 4, as that one is good to go. The lead is now 2.
Just like we said, lead's only 2 now for the Indiana State Sycamores. Western Kentucky, all the momentum right now.
.12 to shoot for Indiana State, and Hughes will pass that one in, and Rickman will come away with that one. Rickman with the chance to make this one a 3-point play.
We'll see how long Western Kentucky takes to put Bassey out on the court as they see Rickman's getting inside, getting these buckets. All because of this extra pass right here. Just feed the big man, let him go to work inside.
Yeah, and that was really heads-up basketball there by Alante Holston. He saw Rickman, who's a little bit bigger than him, was open down low, and Rickman just put that one up. Unable to connect on the 3-point play there on that one, though. .6:45 to play here in the Holman Center as Indiana State gets the turnover.
It's like they wanted to push it in transition, realized that Western Kentucky was already back, slowed it down a little bit.
Halston this time drives in, and Halston draws the foul. That was Tulo Smith's second foul of the afternoon. Western Kentucky's 5th of the half. As Holston goes to the line, shooting 2 for Indiana State. Holston gets the first one to drop. As Bronson Kessinger will check in for Indiana State, and Deshaun Murray will check in for the Hilltoppers.
One thing you want to do for Indiana State is hit these free throws. Late in these close games, what the games come down to are these free throws.
Holston.
Really what gets teams in trouble sometimes is they don't hit these free throws and allow the team to just come back.
Yeah, and last season, Western Kentucky led the nation in free throw attempt differential, as that one doesn't fall for the Hilltoppers. Western Kentucky led the nation with a 324 free throw attempts compared to their opponents. And you see here, Western Kentucky coming into this game had shot 21 more free throw attempts than their opponents.
And they're still down 5 points.
Kessinger gets it to go off the glass.
And you see Charles Bassey up off the bench, ready to check in for the Hilltoppers with just over 5.5 to play here.
Hollingsworth.
Jordan Barnes telling Hollingsworth, just keep playing. He was with them the whole time. Don't get down over one call.
Hollingsworth will go to the line for the 1-and-1, and that foul is on Bronson Kessinger. And Charles Bassey checks back in for the Hilltoppers. And Indiana State will bring back in Tyree Key. See Hollingsworth numbers on the night. 7 points from 5 boards. Looking to make it 8 and maybe even 9 with these free throw attempts. Unable to connect on the front end of the 1-and-1.
Nice rebound by Kessinger.
Both these teams are at the 500 mark for the free throws, both at 4 and 8. Kessinger from 10 feet, unable to go. Banton brings it up the court in a hurry. Banton passes it into Bassey, and Bassey will get his chance from the free throw line and make it the old-fashioned three-point play.
I like the transition. Don't allow Indiana State to get back on defense. Great pass here, feeding Bassey inside. Gets a shot and the foul. That's what you want to do. You don't. It's easier to play if the defense isn't set up, as you can see right there.
Charles Bassey looking to make it 16 points if he connects here. He will. 16, 5, and 4 for the freshman tonight.
The immediate impact of Bassey as soon as he comes up off the bench, gets a three-point play. Western Kentucky only down 4 now.
Under 5 to play. Indiana State 53-49 over Western Kentucky. Jordan Barnes drives it in, 10 to shoot, kicks it out to Key, and Key from 3. Key connects from beyond the arc.
Key had all the time in the world to get his feet down, secure a shot, and he hit a big bucket.
Tyreek Key just hit 16 points, 5 rebounds. Tyreek Key is 3 for 3 from beyond the arc tonight. Makes Indiana State 8 of 17 from three-point land. And Sycamore is looking to steal that one.
That's what you want to see if you're a Sycamore fan. Not allowing any inside plays. The hustle by Kessinger down low.
Jordan Barnes crosses the timeline and picks up his dribble, hands it to Key though. Indiana State looking to keep the ball moving. So
constant screens, constant passing for the Sycamores here, just freeing these shooters.
Jordan Barnes loses the ball there, and Hollingsworth comes away with the steal, but Clayton Hughes with the hard foul on Hollingsworth on the other end. We'll go to break. Indiana State up 56-49 over the Hilltoppers. Welcome back to the Holman Center. Indiana State with the 7-point lead over Western Kentucky with just under 4 minutes to play. And on that last possession, Clayton Hughes picked up his 4th personal foul for Indiana State. Western Kentucky looking to come back into this one though. See here, Hollingsworth had it all the way, and Hughes coming hard from behind and swats that one away.
And yes, you don't like to see him in foul trouble, but I like the hustle by Hughes. Doesn't give him a wide open layup in transition. Send him to the foul line and makes them hit free throws if they want to get those points. If you're Coach Greg Lansing in the huddle, you're probably just saying finish the game. You have just under 4 minutes to play. You have a 7-point lead. Just play Sycamore basketball and get the W tonight.
And if you're Coach Stansbury on the other side, you really got to be thinking, feed the big man down low,
yes.
Right?
You know it's a mismatch. Get him down low and let him score.
As Hollingsworth will step to the line, shooting the free throw, looking to make it a 3-point play. Bring the Hilltoppers within 6. Hollingsworth is up, and it's good. Hollingsworth's second attempt is up. It is good. Lead is now 5. Indiana State 56, Western Kentucky 41. Under 4 to play here inside the Holman Center as Indiana State will now take a timeout. Maybe draw something up here. We go to break. Hilltoppers shrunk the lead to 5. Indiana State still with the 5-point lead here. Under 4 minutes to play in the second half. Charles Bassey checked back in just before that timeout and made an immediate impact on both ends of the court for Western Kentucky. But on the other side, Indiana State, they have a 5-point lead here, under 4 minutes to play.
Yeah, still a lot of basketball to be played as well.
As the teams break the huddle here.
If you're Indiana State, you really want to see a bucket coming out of this timeout.
Indiana State will inbounds this one. It's Tyreek Key. Gets it near his bench. Western Kentucky with a great defense on the inbounds. Hughes lucky he didn't travel on that one. Indiana State taking up as much of this shot clock as they can, trying to run this clock down. And 5 to shoot for Indiana State as Barnes looks up. Barnes with the fadeaway. Barnes cannot get the lucky bounce. Western Kentucky on the other end will get the turnover.
Very fortunate for Indiana State there. Took all that time off, didn't get a bucket, but get the ball right back.
That was the Hilltoppers' 11th turnover on the night. On the other end, Indiana State with 13. And if you're Western Kentucky, that last possession, really the worst case scenario. You were able to get the defensive rebound, and you look to have 2 for sure points as Bronson Kessinger can't get it to go and pass. He comes away with the rebound. But you really had what looked to be 2 for sure points, and you just throw the ball away.
In transition.
Hilltoppers will look to bring this one within a possession on this, to make a basket here. Anderson drives in, and Anderson gets called for the charge.
2 possessions in a row. Western Kentucky came away with 0 points and turned the ball over. Kessinger still in this ball game with 2.5 minutes to go. It says a lot.
As Bronson Kessinger checks out for Indiana State, and Tyreek Key.
As I say that, Kessinger does go to the bench. Definitely had a big impact on this game so far.
Yeah, Kessinger just 6 points coming into this, or going to the bench, excuse me, but really made an impact, as you just said, on the defensive end. So Indiana State will keep this one. And Bronson Kessinger is a man that he just comes off the bench and hustles every time he gets on the court, and that is exactly what he's done here against Western Kentucky tonight.
That's what you need in these close games. You need those players to step up. Doesn't have to necessarily light up the scoreboard, as Barnes hits a big 3 for the Sycamores.
And the crowd loves that one. Puts Indiana State back up by 8. Crowd is on their feet here in the Holman Center as Western Kentucky again gets the offensive foul.
3 turnovers here, big for Western Kentucky.
Look at the excitement on the face of this Indiana State team as Tyreek Key checks back in for Indiana State. 2:10 to play here inside the Holman Center. Indiana State 59, Western Kentucky 51.
Coach Stansberry, not the happiest coach right now with his team, knowing his team needs to come down, utilize every possession, and they're just throwing the ball away, turning it over to the Sycamores.
And this time it's Western Kentucky getting a turnover, but Hughes able to rebound on that one and unable to connect with the layup. Pass goes to Bassey. Nice save by Savage to keep that one in bounds. And Savage drives in, and Savage gets his own rebound. This time Bassey gets the board. Bassey's got to put it up here.
Good defense by the Sycamores there. Crowd wanted a travel call.
Banton unable to connect on the 3. And Indiana State, hard-fought basketball here on both sides for both of these teams. Gotta love the hustle if you're Indiana State.
Even the crowd, they love it.
And if you're Coach Rick Stansberry, you really have to wonder what happened to my team the last 4 minutes of this game.
You would think coming out of that media timeout, they were going to try and close this ball game, go on a little bit of a run, but they've just gone stale. Had a lot of good looks at the rim there, just couldn't get them to fall. Had so many opportunities. Came out of that possession with 0 points, and now the Sycamores are at the line.
Big 1-and-1 here coming from Tyreek Keys. He can't connect on the first one.
Those free throws.
Hollingsworth just a little bit short, and Savage gets the board, and Savage will go to the line for the old-fashioned three-point plays. That was Bronson Kessinger getting his 4th foul on the night.
Second chance opportunities are killing him.
Tyreek Key will be removed from this game as
you see it for the Sycamores. Western Kentucky had a long three there. A lot of time in the air for you to box out the defender and get the board, and Western Kentucky got it. Jared Savage got the and one.
See the Indiana State coaching staff and training staff tending to Key's leg, wondering if he's just cramping. A lot of hustle, especially here as this game has gone on.
That's the one player you want on the court right now for the Sycamores. See who the next man up is. See if Kessinger back on the floor. See if he can finish out this basketball game. I think that all that is just cramping.
Jared Savage will now step to the line for his free throw attempt. Savage currently with 10 points, 4 of 16 from the field. Gets that one to go, make it 11. For Savage, 8 boards.
If you're Indiana State, you just want to get the ball up, get a good shot at the rim, take a little bit of time off the clock, but if you do, come away with points.
Hughes with the no-look pass, nicely handled by Holston. Huge block by Josh Anderson down low. Here, Western Kentucky, you need points on this one, and they will not get it as Savage is called for the charge. Indiana State with a 5-point lead, under a minute to play. Nice job by Clayton Hughes to just stay in there tough.
Instead of going out on Banton, Hughes decided to stay down low, drew the foul, the charge.
And if you're Western Kentucky, do you think about fouling Indiana State now with under a minute to play, down by 5?
I say you give it at least, if they score here, yes, but if they don't and you get the ball right back, you're still in this ball game down 5. Three-pointer, you're down 2, and they try the foul, doesn't get it. Jared Savage really wanted it.
Barnes showing his quickness here, and this time Savage will get called for the foul.
That's great for the Sycamores, a lot of time, and they got the foul call.
41 and a half here left in the second half. Indiana State with a chance to go up by 6 if Barnes can connect. And 7 if he can connect on both of them.
Coach Lansing telling his players, no threes, no fouls. You have a 6-point lead, 40 seconds to go. Don't give them any opportunities to crawl back in this game. Close it out.
And Jordan Barnes makes it a 3-possession game,
Huge
connecting on both of those free throws. 41 seconds to play here in the Holman Center. Indiana State up 7 as Banton will pick that one up at half court. And Anderson kicks it to Banton, and Banton looking to make something happen. Anderson drives in, and Anderson called for the
Another charge drawn here by the Sycamores. They are excited.
Shot clock is off now. Jordan Barnes gets it across the timeline, and Banton will foul Washington. If you're head coach Greg Lansing, you have to be happy and excited with the way your team played, especially here in the second half. They played hard-fought basketball in the first half, but they were able to basically secure the lead the entire way here in the second half.
Just have to be proud of your guys. Western Kentucky had a lot of chances here down the stretch to pull this game closer, and then Sycamore just fought, got the ball back.
Washington connects on that one as well.
These Indiana State fans are very happy for the team right now.
And if you're coach Rick Stansberry, I mentioned it last time. You have to wonder what happened to my team with 5 minutes to go in the second half as Savage unable to connect on that one. The ball will stay with the Hilltoppers away with 13 seconds left to play.
I think what it was is the Sycamores just didn't give up. They had the lead, but they didn't let the Hilltoppers climb back in the game. Kept their foot on the gas the entire way through this game.
As the crowd will get on their feet, and Indiana State will take this one over Western Kentucky 63-54. Largely because of that man right there, Tyreek Key, 16 points. He will be your Terre Haute Chevy player of the game.
Yeah, Tyreek Key came out here 16 points, didn't miss a three-point shot as he shot 3 for 3 tonight.
Yeah, Tyreek Key, 16 points, 5 of 7 from the field. Also had 2 steals and 6 rebounds. Tyreek Key just making it look easy from beyond the arc.
If you notice, he's getting his feet down, setting, and just hitting the shot all the time in the world. That's what you want as a shooter.
The key to that play right there was Jordan Barnes' ability to drive in and let Tyreek Key get so wide open there on the three-point line. So for Bailey Chamberlain, I'm Michael Winstead saying so long from the Holman Center in Terre Haute, Indiana, where the final score is Indiana State 63, Western Kentucky 54. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.